into the review of the final grades. We also have the entire EPL as far as expenditure and net as of today, sir. So
it's not perfectly updated. I don't even think they have the exact deal. So just like this was as of like this morning.
I refresh.
Probably still updated. There you go. Now they got it. 483 million pounds, and United fifth in the table as it relates to net spend. Should have spent more. Should have spent more. Should have got more body. I wanted more bodies in. I think at the end of the day, I don't know where the 12 arrivals come from. Maybe all the youngsters, but there you go.
I like the Chelsea model. You know, I hate to say it.
A lot of players.
Garnacho was a great bit of business for them. A lot of body. I feel like the volume of players they're signing make it like, hey, new manager comes in, you can decide whoever's starting 11. Everyone has to get in line no matter what. United is just like, there's these undroppable players that have been there forever because we never sign replacements and we're always counting on these players, and you can question their commitment because they've sacked so many managers. I feel like there is a core that we do need to move on from. And until you do that, or you sign so much like Rangnick said, open heart surgery, sign a whole new team. United has always needed to sign a whole new team, but we always resort to the 80 million pound red meat. We never just sign 10, 20 million pound youngsters to turn over the whole team. We're always going for the red meat, the Seskos, the Cunha, the Mbumos, and we're light on the youngsters. I felt like something that INEOS really needed to get done was peppering a young midfielder in here, another wing back there, and I just felt like we were missing some of those young pieces. It was all red meat, and we went young in the keeper. We should have gone veteran. So my final grade, sir, breaking it down for the transfer window, I'm going to give Manchester United a C. I know that is harsh, but there's glaring holes in the squad, and we're already under the gun. The midfield has already cost us goals. The goalkeeper has cost us goals. We did not, and we're not scoring, but I felt like we're playing Bruno out of position. There's all these things, and it's like this squad is really incomplete. And so if Amorim ends up getting under pressure and gets the sack, I'm always going to have that spot in my mind where, well, this really was an incomplete roster coming into this year.
Yeah, it's a fair grade, to be fair. I'm going to give them a B-. I think it's one of those grades where you can go home to your parents at the end of the semester and you can, you're still going to get your licks, but your summer's not going to be ruined. They're going to let you do your shit. But we left a lot of it late. Ooh. I think we needed to do more of the goalkeeper. I think we needed to do clever. They're they think they're a little more clever than they are. Sometimes they play football on paper. They needed to take some of the pressure off Lemens. They're not doing that by making him the main guy. They're not doing that in the sixth position by getting somebody in, get a tricky loan, get that $20 million kid from Sevilla. He was nothing. We made the money up with all the wages saved. We should have made further moves. And at the same time, I think you're putting a lot of pressure on Benjamin Sesko. I do not want him to go the way Rasmus Højlund did. I think we did him dirty. I don't want to do Sesko dirty. So
we are bottling it so far.
That's why I gave him a B-. B- for me.
But I that's fair. B- is a good grade. But if you watch, I think as the transfer window unfolds, and we're talking big brains. We got ties, so we're wearing the suits. It's like you got to think about it. So you're like
smarter.
You're like you come up with all of this game plan, and then you're like, preseason vibes are good. They're always high in preseason. Always. I think I said that, hey, you can't trust it because we've seen this before. And it's like you have 4 games you played. What was clear in those 4 games? Cass's legs are gone. You don't have depth in a critical area that this team needs, especially for the full season. And if you're wide open against Grimsby and Burnley in the midfield and Ugarte's not the guy. You got to go again. Casemiro doesn't have the legs. You got to go again. Mainu isn't a 6, got to go again. Bruno isn't a 6, got to go again. It's clear the issues, and they're just ignoring it. And then you look at the goalkeeper, and you say, they cost us points. They cost us games. And then you got to get a guy who can start today, ready-made today. If you're looking at those 2 positions after those 4 games and you're making the calls that they're making, it's got to be a C for me because it's glaringly obviously what this team needs. The attack will come. Think about that. We signed the quality of the attack. Look at the XG. We've generated so much XG. The goals are going to come. The attack was an A+ in my opinion, but the full grade gets dropped down because the systemic problems in what we saw in the first 4 games. And for me, they're going to get worse because there's going to be injuries. Like Cass is going to go down. We've already seen Mount go down. Like, there's going to be problems, and I just feel like being that light in critical areas is going to be tough. And Lemens, I hope it all works out, but that's like a punt. That's honestly a punt. Like, 1 in 5,
It's more important that he comes good this season than Sesko. I mean, Sesko can struggle and we'll make it work because we'll have Cunha and Mbeumo ideally. Mounts eventually maybe score some goals. Same with Ahmad. Bruno will score goals. But the fans, they said B or C.
In the chat, what do you got?
We're pretty close.
In the chat, what do you got?
You can see either.
Let us know your